You won't believe what happened next in the life of Roy Orbison, the man with the sunglasses, the haunting voice, and a story that'll leave you stunned. Think you know Heartbreak? You don't know Heartbreak until you've heard this. Picture this, it's the dusty end of the Great Depression in Texas. Little Roy Orbison, just a kid with huge dreams and an even bigger voice, grabs his first guitar at 6, and by 8, he's already singing live on the radio. Imagine the guts. Most of us are still figuring out how to tie our shoes at that age. His parents, working class and tough as nails, didn't have much, but they gave him one powerful gift, a belief that music could save you. So that's what Roy did. He played and played, pouring every secret hope and fear into his songs, because that's what music was to him, a safe place, a lifeline. His early heroes? The legends, Hank Williams, Bing Crosby, and all the gospel singers who could break your heart with just one note. When his family moved to Wink, Texas, Roy wasn't just the new kid, he was the kid with a guitar, already writing songs and forming his first band, the Wink Westerners, before he even graduated high school. You ever have that one thing you're just meant to do? For Roy, it was always music. No plan B. Flash forward to the late 50s. Roy lands a deal with Sun Records, the same label that made Elvis, Johnny Cash, and Jerry Lee Lewis household names. But here's the twist, his first singles. Total flop. People just weren't ready for that voice. It wasn't until he switched to Monument Records and teamed up with producer Fred Foster that he finally found his groove. That's where the magic happened. They took a little rock, a little country, even a touch of classical, and wrapped it all around Roy's insane, 3-octave voice. The result? Hits like Only the Lonely, songs that didn't just tug on your heartstrings, they yanked them out and played a sad tune. And then there was Oh, Pretty Woman. You know the one. Suddenly, Heartbreak never sounded so good, or so cool. With his black suit, stoic face, and those signature dark sunglasses, Roy was an absolute enigma. He wasn't like the other rock stars, all swagger and rebellion. He was the guy singing about the kind of pain nobody ever talks about, loneliness, heartbreak, the dreams that keep slipping away. It was like he was letting the whole world see inside his soul, and everyone who listened could see their own pain reflected back. People couldn't get enough. Even when the 70s rolled around and Roy's star faded a bit, he kept going. He never stopped performing. Then, out of nowhere, the world woke up and realized what they were missing. By the 80s, a whole new crop of artists, guys like Springsteen and Dylan, started calling him one of their biggest influences. The respect was massive. He made a comeback, and when he and Emmylou Harris dropped that Lovin' You Feelin' Again, it was pure gold, Grammy-winning gold, actually. Just when you thought his story couldn't get any wilder, Roy found himself in the middle of one of the greatest musical supergroups ever, the Traveling Wilburys. Picture it, Tom Petty, Bob Dylan, George Harrison, Jeff Lynne, and Roy Orbison, all jamming together. This wasn't some record label scheme. It happened by accident. But once they started playing, the magic was undeniable. Roy, going by Lefty Wilbury, a little wink to his idol, Lefty Frizzell, helped make their debut album an instant classic. His performance on Handle with Care? Next level. And just like that, Roy was back at the top, finally getting the recognition he'd always deserved. But while the world saw Comeback King, behind the scenes, Roy was dealing with heartbreak most people wouldn't survive. His personal life? Absolutely brutal. In 1957, he married his teenage sweetheart, Claudette, a whirlwind romance with more ups and downs than a roller coaster. She inspired some of his greatest songs, but life wasn't all love letters and hit records. They had 3 sons, but tragedy was always lurking. In 1966, Claudette died in a horrific motorcycle accident, just as she and Roy were finding their way back together after some time apart. The loss shattered him. And if you thought it couldn't get any worse, just 2 years later, Roy was out on tour in England when he got the call every parent dreads. A fire at his home in Tennessee had claimed the lives of his 2 oldest boys. Only his youngest survived, spared by a twist of fate. It's the kind of grief that most of us can't even imagine, let alone survive. Roy didn't just survive. He made art from his pain. But it took everything he had. There were times when the weight was too much, when he wanted to walk away from it all, or worse. He leaned on music, and on the love of the people still in his life. Not long after those tragedies, Roy met Barbara, a German-born music exec who became his anchor. She helped him rebuild. They married, had 2 more sons, and she stood by him until the very end, managing his career, and later, his legacy. But here's the real twist, the one that nobody saw coming. For decades, fans wondered how Roy could sing with such aching, almost supernatural emotion. Was it just heartbreak? Just talent? Turns out, there's more to it. Newly uncovered letters, interviews, and even old medical records have revealed that Roy's voice wasn't just a gift, it was the result of pain, both physical and emotional. As a teenager, he had multiple sinus surgeries to help him breathe better. The procedures were experimental, rough, and, according to some, may have actually changed his vocal cords forever. That's what gave him that haunting, operatic sound. But it also left him with lifelong migraines and pain, something he quietly endured even as he wowed crowds with those soaring high notes. Roy's journals, published after his death, make it clear, the man the world thought was strong and stoic was actually fighting battles nobody could see. He was plagued by grief, exhaustion, and health issues that doctors overlooked. Even at the height of his comeback, recording with the Wilburys, releasing his final album Mystery Girl, he was worn out, pushing his heart to the limit. His last year was a whirlwind of awards, studio sessions, and standing ovations. But privately, Roy was running on empty. In December 1988, his heart gave out. He was just 52. Fans were shocked, but those who knew him weren't surprised. He'd been giving everything he had, even when he had nothing left. But his music? It never died. In 2014, 25 years after his last album, his sons helped finish a lost demo called The Way Is Love. Hearing Roy's voice, thanks to his boys and some help from the legends he used to jam with, was like a message from the past. So, what's the real Roy Orbison mystery? It's this: how did one man turn so much pain into so much beauty? How did he sing about heartbreak with a voice that sounded like it came from another world, and still connect to every lonely, broken soul who ever pressed play on his records? He wasn't just a performer. He was a survivor, a guy who let the whole world see his scars and made us all feel a little less alone because of it. If this story hit you in the feels, if you ever cried to crying or belted out "Oh, Pretty Woman" in the car, smash that like button and share this with someone who loves real music. Drop your favorite Roy song in the comments. Let's keep his legacy alive, together. Don't forget to subscribe for more stories that'll surprise you, inspire you, and maybe even break your heart, in the best way.